Aotearoa. Now I'm going to try and explain the Dartmoor dye process a little bit better. So I've got 4 pots set up at the moment. I've got some fleece. So just imagine dividing this fleece into 3 parts. Now with the first third you divide that into 4. So then you put it into a red pot, a yellow pot, a blue pot and a green pot. With these other 2, so I've got some in there already. I've got a third of this already in there divided up. So with this, I'm going to put these 2 aside for the second and the third dip. So these go aside, we're not going to use these for now. One of these piles into 4 colours. So this is one of the piles that's going in for the second dip. So I'll just pull out some colours to show you. So with the red, I've used Magenta. And just to show you what I've dyed. So this is ready to come out. This was done yesterday and I've let it cool. So I'll just get one and pull that out. You can do this in one day. I'm just taking my time. And I'm not having to rush. So there's that. I have the yellow. It's supposed to be blue, but it's green. This one's a different green. So we're doing what we're doing. I'll just squish that out. So I have this magenta colour. So I don't want to keep too much of the original colour because I want to play with, I want to do more over dyeing with the rest of it. I just want to keep this as a record, so I'm going to just keep that a little bit there. Then with the rest of this, I'm going to divide it into 3 because I'm going to count this as my 4th. So that's 1, 2 and 3. So now I'm going to put this one into the yellow, this one into the green and into the last green. So I've got a green and a green. So I will go and put these in front of the pots. Ready to go. I've got to top up the dye bath. I'll do the next one. So again, I don't really want to keep too much of this one. I just want to keep the base colour as a record. Then I'm going to divide this into 3. I've got 1 and 2 and 3-ish, the same. So 1 for the pink pot, green pot and the other green pot. Bluey green I call it, but mostly green. I just sort of threw some colours together. This one, I quite like that colour. I might just divide this one straight into 4. They're 2 different fibres in here, so they've dyed differently. So I'm going to divide that into 3. I'm going to keep a little bit of this base colour as a record and keep a little bit that base colour for the record. I want more of that, possibly. I might just divide this into 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3 and okay, so we've got, and I'm going to keep a little bit more of this because this will be nice for blending. I kind of like that colour. making up my own rules here. So now this one is going to go into the red pot. This is going to go into the yellow pot, and this is going into the other green. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and yeah. I'll keep a little bit more of this one too because I quite like that colour. Be nice for blending. So I've got my original colours here. That's the original colours I've started with. I'm just keeping more of these ones because I know I want to blend with them and I like the colours. And so this one is going to go into that pot, that's going to go into that pot, and that's going to go into that pot. So yellow pot is warm already, so I'm just going to pop the 3 colours that hadn't been in here before into this one. And we'll see how we go with that. I'll just let that soak. Beautiful colours. So I'll drain that off. I'll take a little bit off of each, and then that will be ready for the third dip. Now this is the yellow pot, and I'll get those colours out of there. This was the magenta and the 2 thing. One that, you know, the one I'm pretending is blue, and the other one, the green. So the 2 greens and the magenta. So that's the colours I got from that one. So I'll drain those and divide those. Now this is the pot that I'm pretending to be blue, but is actually a different kind of green. And now that's that lot from that pot. I'll just let that cool a bit and then divide it up. These are the colours that I have out of the second dipping. I put some more colours back in for a third dip. There's not so much because I started off with a small amount of wool anyway. So this is really interesting. So I've got the original bluey green colour, and then the other green, which I was pretending this was blue, but it's not. And then I over dyed that with red, the red, yellow, red, red blue, and blue green. And then I have all these other colours here. So I think this is the order of how they worked out. I'll pull out the other ones in about 20 minutes or so. I've just been dyeing, not literally, but in the shed, doing a different dye project. I'm going to show you the end result of the ADHD edition of my Dartmoor dye with me trying to explain how to do it. So I've got the little samples here, and I'll show you the original colours that I started with. So I use, instead of using a red, I use a magenta, then a yellow. These were the pure colours. This was supposed to be the blue pot, but was actually a green. And this was a different fibre in the same pot, and it just changed colour a little bit. And that was the original green colour. So this was kind of blue-green. We're going to go with it. So that was the original colours I started with, and then I popped these colours into pots where they hadn't been before. So I then came up with all of these lovely colours here. So I've got some beautiful greens, dark reds and orange, purples, beautiful shades. So that was dipping them into another pot that they hadn't been in before. So this was the yellow that was dipped into the red, and I think this was what was going to be blue, that was dipped into the red, and then I can't remember what the other colours were, but they turned up beautifully. And I saved larger portions of these, and they're down in the bigger basket down here. And this was the third dip, so these became a lot more muted compared to these ones, but still gorgeous, beautiful shades. And this was the originals. So that was what I got just from one lot of 1/3 of the fibre that I had, and dividing that into 3 and then putting it into pots and then swapping the pots and putting them into different pots. And I still have 2/3 of the fibre left, and I've decided, I've just spotted some really good harakeke, which is New Zealand flax, down in the paddock, and so that's what I'm going to dye with the rest of it. I'm not going to do the second and the third dip because I emptied out the pots. But I hope you get the idea, or it just inspires you just to play and not be too attached to the result. I'm quite happy with those beautiful tones. And this is the basket full of fibre that I got. That was just from 1/3 of, and I had got some really interesting effects because it was kind of like a kettle dye and some colours were next to other colours. Then they sort of touched each other, and you got these beautiful accidents happening. There were some nice purple ones here. This one here, the green purple, that turned out beautiful. So that green was next to a purple, and it took up some of the dye from that other fibre. So it was a fun experiment to do, and I'm going to have lots of fun carding this. So that is my ADHD edition of a Dartmoor dye.